It's your girl Blair, Boss Lady Anointed Rap Entertainment, and welcome to my YouTube channel where you get to hear real life experiences coming from a preschool teacher. I am them kids' preschool teacher. I am that girl's mama. I am them girls' dance mama. I am them kids' dance teacher. And I just wanted to tap in really quick. I have a really quick message. And I pray that whoever hears this, that you will be encouraged and inspired to keep going along your journey. So, this is my question. First, let me check in with my preschool teachers. How are y'all doing? I don't know what's been in the water, but these kids have been acting crazy. And I just wanted to encourage you and uplift you and inspire you to remember your why. Remember your why. And the reason why I say this, so I am a preschool teacher, which means I teach the older 3s turning 4. And the last 4 weeks I have been with the toddlers, the 2s getting ready to turn 3. And they've had a rotation of teachers because it takes a very strong teacher to be in that room. So since I am a strong teacher, they pulled me out of my room and merged the 2s and 3s together. And it has been a task. It has been a very stressful task. I came home a few weeks ago ready to quit. Had I not been doing my CDA, I would have walked out, because it was getting to the point that I didn't even want to come in to work because I knew what I was getting ready to deal with. And I had to stop my curriculum in order to work on classroom management and work on establishing a routine with these 2s. My classroom already had a routine, but I had to step out of my classroom to help get this 2's classroom together before we get a new teacher. Because what was happening, every teacher that was coming through was being ran off. So me and 2 other people worked very closely with the 2s, and it took about 4 weeks. And I want to say I'm very proud of them, because when I came in on Monday, everyone was on their best behavior. Everyone did what they were told. Everyone went where I told them to went. Everyone, y'all, they doing so good. I didn't even know what to do because I was so used to sitting in chaos in this classroom. I'm like, I'm really stressed, and if I don't get out this room, I'm going to quit. Then we, for some reason, I end up having to go to the younger, like the 18 months to 24 months, that classroom. And that is where I remembered my why. These babies are way smaller. And so they're still learning, exploring. But I started saying, sit. They will go sit. I was playing the Gracie Corner song so we can learn how to clean up. And I was like, you know what? This is my why. Because these children have to be taught. No matter how hard it gets, these children have to be taught. And even if you have behavioral issues, you got to figure out how to work it out in your classroom. Or you have to figure out how to get these kids out of the room, start putting them on the managers, so they can understand that you're not going to deal with certain behavior. Yes, y'all want us to redirect. Yes, y'all want us to do positive reinforcement. But some of these children are out of control. Standing on tables, slanging stuff off the shelves when they're mad. This is where I get frustrated with the parent, because we're setting these children up for failure. You're teaching them, they know every name brand shoe. They know every Cardi B song. Not nothing against Cardi B, but why is your 2-year-old listening to a Cardi B? I have one student in my classroom, I don't know where he be like, shake your booty crack, shake your booty crack, shake your booty crack. And I'm like, where did you get that from? Then they be like, clock that T. Clock that T. Baddie, shoddy time, all this stuff. Your kids should not know all of this. Then when you ask them what's their colors, their shapes, their numbers, and what is their name, they can't even tell you that. But they can tell you to shake that booty crack. I have a student specifically that tells me to shut up, bitch. You getting on my nerves. These are the things that we really deal with in these classrooms, and no one is, and I ain't gonna say no one's not having these conversations, but I've been seeing in my feeds about daycares and what these teachers are really, really dealing with. We need to really have these conversations, because we're not having these conversations, and then y'all making it seem like, oh, it's not that bad. Bitch, I'm being very transparent, y'all. Come sit in a classroom. Then you will have a greater respect for a preschool teacher and the things that we deal with on a regular basis. So we're dealing with behavioral issues. We're potty training. Then we have to do a face-to-face transition check. We have to clock everybody in as they're coming in. We have to post pictures and stories. And we got to do pull-up change. We got to make sure they fed. We got to make sure they safe. We got to make sure they don't do anything to harm themselves. Y'all, it's a lot. It is a lot. So I wanted to encourage you and remind you that when it gets a lot, when it gets really loud, when you're feeling overwhelmed, remember your why. Remember your why. Because these kids need somebody, and it's you that they need. They may not get the structure at home. They may not get the love at home. They may not receive certain things that they need, but it's you. When they come into your classroom, they're happy to see you. When I walk into the center that I work, every single kid knows my name. Every single kid can tell you something personally that I said to them to encourage, uplift, and inspire. I can barely get around the corner and they hear my voice, they run to me. I can be sitting in my car because I'm not ready to quite go in yet, and they will see me and run to my car. One baby waited for me at the door until I got there. His mom said he wouldn't leave until you got here. I said, don't worry about it, I'll walk him back. Be that rememberable. Be that irreplaceable, that if you decided to leave, there will never be another teacher like you. They'll beg you to come back. Remember your why. I had to remember my why last week because I was overwhelmed. I was overworked, and I was tired. I was irritated. I was frustrated. And I believe it was because I was focusing more on the problem and not the solution. I got so caught up in the problem. I got so caught up in what the previous teacher wasn't doing that I began to get overwhelmed. And I began to get frustrated. And I began to allow their behaviors to get the best of me. And then I had to think to myself, well, I'm not about to argue with a 2-year-old who don't even know how to wipe themselves. I'm not about to argue with a 2-year-old who can't tell me a shape or a color, what I look like. I look crazy at this point. And that's not to throw shots at anybody's kids, but we got to be teaching these babies. These babies don't know nothing. Why is that? Because you were tired, mama. You were stressed out, mama. You were overwhelmed, mama. I get it. I used to be a single mama, so I understand. But that's no excuse. No excuse why these kids don't know anything. No excuse why these kids behave the way that they behave. I have to stop this video because I'm running out of time, but hop back on for part 2 of Remember Your Why.